Big up everybody. Welcome back to TJ Warren TV. Welcome back to an Arsenal preview, which is one thing that I never do, is preview games with individual creators. But today I decided to make an exception. You want to know why? Because it's Man United. And I had to invite my brother Staffy from Staffy TV, from American Waffle, from the Football Terrace, from all parts unknown, to join me here. So Staffy, how you doing, bro? You good?
I thought you were gonna say I only made an exception because of Staffy, but I guess I thought too much of myself.
Well, I could have said that, you found him instead of like you find him on TFT. I could have said like you find him at your local hookah lounge or something like that.
Can you guys stop bullying my local hookah lounge, man? Stop bullying my hookah, my local hookah lounge.
Speaking of frauds, speaking of bullying people,
isn't this guy supposed to be parading around and taking around Marshall to places in London? Please, brother, I told you, drop your phone for a little bit and go touch grass. Enough. Yeah. Stop with your addiction.
This guy is literally out at a bar right now watching us when he's.
What do you think he's taking, Marshall? Like low key, like.
Dude, I've heard from sources that they're just going out drinking, but we've all seen the result of Ahmed drinking, and sometimes it just doesn't work out. You know what I mean?
It's a lot of it's a lot of throwing up involved. Yeah, we'll leave that for the group chats. We won't expose them too much.
No, we're not going to expose them too much. We don't want to go too in depth, but big up everybody who's already inside. Play along in the chat. I see we got a couple watching already. There, we know that there's a ton of people live right now, so thank you for joining us today. Staffy, there's a lot of chest on both sides of the ball here, and I think that we need to set them straight. We need to
chest on whose side?
Real. Both. I think it's unnecessary. I've seen unnecessary chest on both. I've heard that we're going to beat you guys like 4-1, 3-1. I've heard that it's just going to be an absolute battering, even though that hardly ever happens in this match period. I just don't think that that's true, especially with the way that you guys are playing under Michael Carrick.
So let me ask you this. How many teams have you guys battered this season?
In the league? Like 2.
Villa and who? Who's the other team?
Villa, Leeds, and Nottingham Forest at the beginning. So I'll count Nottingham Forest. We really haven't battered.
I remember you beat Leeds by like 4, I think, when Nyokar scored a brace.
It was 5-1. It was the second.
5? Okay. Yeah, so like two teams. Yeah.
2 teams.
Yeah, there's no battering, brother. Your fan base, unfortunately, is a little bit delusional. I've been seeing them say a lot of worse shit. They were saying something about they would have cooked the 08-09 team. And they were like, oh, the 08-09 team barely beat
the
08-09 Arsenal team. And I'm like, well, that's a lie, because between 08-09 and then I think between the years of 2008, 2009, and I think it was 2010, you guys beat us like once, and we just beat you or drew every other time. Yeah. And that was a matter of like 2.5 years, something like that. It's delusional. But anyways, yeah, man, it's always a big game. No matter where we are and where you guys are. It's actually kind of cool that this time we're actually relevant in terms of making top 4. Whereas like last season, our season was just like absolutely nothing. Mm-hmm. So you can say that United need to win because they actually have a race of their own. It's not a title race, but this is a top 4 race. So actually, it makes the game mean something other than just like the social media derby. This is the social media El Clasico. There's no more. I think the teams with the most creators, they have to be. I mean, Chelsea has a lot, to be fair, but it has to be between United and Arsenal. So it always feels like a social media derby more than anything. But yeah, it's a big game, man. We haven't beat you guys at home other than the FA Cup last season when we eliminated you on penalties, which is technically not a win because like you didn't win in 120 minutes for the 90 minutes.
You guys went through on penalties. That's the correct way to say it.
We haven't beat you guys since 2019, which funny enough, I was in London during that time. So we haven't beat you guys since 2019. But it should be a good game. We're coming off a good result last week. I don't even want to say good form because it's only 1 win in the last 3. But by the way, I don't know if you knew that. Did you know that no Premier League team there's like all 20 of them. No Premier League team has two wins in a row going into this game week.
That's
Not a
crazy.
single team.
Horrible,
Everyone either has one win in the last two or none.
We've got two draws in a row. That's a streak.
So by that form alone,
we're gonna bow to you 3-1. Okay.
Yeah, I don't think there's gonna be any battering.
No.
We'll get to predictions obviously later.
Yes,
you know what, Ash? I'm sick of Ash, man. I go to so many channels and he's always
this guy's always talking shit. I'm sorry, go ahead.
He's always fact checking me, and it's annoying me because like it's a few times where I'm like, you know what, bro, he makes a good point, but don't embarrass me in front of people. but he is everywhere. I appreciate him. Yeah, but yeah, man, you're the host. Tell me, how do you feel about hosting us this week?
Dude, I think we'll get the win. I don't think it's gonna be as like one-sided as everybody thinks. I wanted to ask you a question, but I'll ask you this question after I kind of provide my answer to it. I am not as comfortable with this Man United coming in as I would have been with United coming in under Amorim. Your players look like they actually know what they're doing. They're playing in their preferred positions. They're playing in, a 4-4-3-3, a 4-2-3-1.
4 in the back, yeah.
Yeah, 4 in the back period is really just an improvement over that what you've been playing for the last year before that. So it just looks like they actually know what they're doing. And after battering Man City, and again, a lot of people are gassing that up, and I think it's just Man United fans finally, and well, Man City fans coping and Man United fans finally being like, hey, we got our team back to a point. But I'm not as confident just because your players look more relaxed. They look
liberated.
Bro, yes, exactly. They looked like they were free from the shackles and were actually going out there. And it was almost like character said, okay, 4 at the back, go out there and play. Just go out
it's
there.
It's like Ahmed walking into a winery. He can't believe like what he's seeing in front of him. He's like, "Damn! Finally, I'm where I want." He's about to drink all this wine because he's an alcoholic. But but no, I keep using the word liberated because it's like if you feel like most of these players had shackles on them by either not playing enough minutes or not playing in their better positions or not even playing in a formation or a setup. In my belief, that was getting the best out of most of them. And I think it's more than just the last game. I said this after the Burnley game. The Brighton game, you can argue that we kind of deserve to lose because of the way we defended. But at least attacking-wise, the last 3 games, the Burnley game wasn't a true reflection of how we played. And that's the game. Remember when on American Waffle, I said I'm actually depressed? And I said this result hurt me the most. And you guys were like, why? You've been losing for a while. It was because of it was the bounce back right after Amorim, and we actually played very well. And that game we put up like 30 shots, and it was the most shots. I forgot what the stat was, but it was the most shot we put in I forgot how many months. And it's just like I looked at that game and I'm like, this is actually a true reflection of how we play. It was more of an anomaly that we drew 2-2 when you consider how many shots we had. They had 1 shot on target and they scored 2 goals. Like it's a complete anomaly, that result. But because people saw the results before it, they would like, yeah, it's probably same shit. And it really wasn't. And that's why I think the City game meant a lot, because if anything, I saw people saying United are gassing up the City game and it flattered us or whatever. If anything, the game didn't flatter us. The game actually undersold us. That game, we generally should have won like 6-0. Like that would have been a fair result. 2-0 was not a fair result. So it actually did the opposite of flattering. It kind of didn't tell the true story of what the game was. Now, taking that though, I don't think we're going to play the same way against you guys. I don't think we're going to generate almost, by the way, we generated like 3.8 something XG. That's almost 4 XG. To put that into context, by the way, that's more XG than when Liverpool beat us 7-0. So that's just to put it in the numbers. That's how good that XG was.
Oh shit!
And we're not going to create that against you guys. So I'm fully aware that when we play you guys, we're not going to create that amount of XG. But I do think we're going to play a lot better. I do expect us to be a lot braver. I do expect us to try and attack you guys. I don't think we're just going to sit there and set up in a low block and allow you guys to do everything, because I think that's the worst way to play against Arsenal. Arsenal love nothing more than a team that's going to roll over and not attack them, because we know you guys can play really ugly and you'll get a goal from like a long ball or a set piece. Why would I even put myself in that situation? We have a manager who kind of understands the club values a little bit more. He knows we can't be that inferior team for 90 minutes. He actually is a good coach at the end of the day. He's not probably not as good as
Well,
Arteta, but he's just
and
good.
you think he'll have a little bit more of a free hand because he's not staying. It's an interim job. So why don't you go why
Yes
not
and
go in
no.
there?
I don't think he's going to sell the season and just go gung ho football every week. I think he's fully aware of the assets that he has, though.
Well,
Like
in the context of Arsenal, though, like what do you have to lose? Not just playing in a low block and trying.
I mean, it's still early in the season, so it's still early in the season. I want to give. I don't want to give up points. If I could get a point from you guys, it's still a good result because no one has beaten you guys anyways. So I want to get the maximum that someone else has got, and the maximum anyone has gotten at the Emirates is a draw. So for me to accomplish that or get more, sure, that would be amazing. But for me to get at least a draw, it means I got the best that anyone else has gotten, at least. You know what I'm saying? Now, the reason I'm saying this about Carrick, I think he's fully aware of the assets that he has in this team. I seen him the way he used the front line last game. Very happy to see Bruno back in the 10. I was happy to see Ahmad on the right wing, and I was happy to see Mbeumo in the 9. Because we've been having these discussions, and even Griggs was actually trying to say maybe play Mbeumo on the left, and I was like, no, bro, I kind of like Mbeumo in the 9 a little bit more. I think the way he can play, like he low key plays like a target man, where like he can stick on a defender, receive the ball, turn, make a pass, make runs in behind, and he has an eye for goal. I feel like that's enough to put him in the 9 while keeping Ahmed in on the right, because I think that's just the best way we can set up, playing your best player on the right, which is him. The midfield, as I mentioned, Bruno just being there. The way he talks about Mainu, it's just like he's just trying to take control of the midfield when he plays, no matter who the opposition is. And it's just like he's not trying to just play an Ugarte. He's not just trying to set up defensive with Casemiro. He's trying to play a midfielder who can receive the ball, turn, make passes, advance. These are things that we didn't see under Ruben Amorim. And as I'm saying, it's not going to be easy doing that against you guys, because you guys are probably the best team out of shape in the league. Not probably, you definitely are. But like, I know he's still going to try to do a little bit of that. And if he utilizes his assets, as I seen him utilize him a little bit last game, we do have a chance to get a result. Whether we get it or not is irrelevant, but I do think he's aware of his possibility of getting a good result in this game.
Yeah, I agree with you completely. And look, that's why I agree that he's not gonna sit back and just let us attack, especially because like if we're being real about it, defensively, I just think defensively versus our midfield, not necessarily our front three, because our front three is something we can talk about in a little bit, but it's a little. I think we both agree that there's room for improvement there, especially on the form that we're on now.
I'm gonna tell you the take that I had earlier when you're done.
In the league, what?
I'm gonna tell you about a take that I had earlier today on the terrace, but when you're done.
I can't wait to hear it. But yeah, no, I'm telling you right now that in the league, our attack has been absolutely woeful this year. I won't speak for the entire season, but this year our attack has been totally woeful, and I'm talking in the league. I'm not talking about it against a dead Inter Milan team that was giving our front three a ton of space and making Victor Gyökeres look good. And that was another take that I heard today, that Victor Gyökeres, he's coming on to form because he beat a Cherby, a guy who is older than I am. In a game in Italy. Like look, Inter Milan is not the Inter Milan of old, okay? Let's just be real about it. So go out there and play actual Premier League football and show me something. But yeah, as you can tell, I still don't rate Victor Gyökeres, but I'm sure we'll talk about that more in a minute. But getting back to United, I just think that the quality of the midfields is going to be the key here. I hate to be like, oh yeah, that same old adage, oh, the game's going to be won and lost in the midfield. But I think like, in terms of player quality, I think we beat you out, and I think we have enough to get it over the line. But I don't think Carrick is going to sit back. I don't think the players are going to sit back, and I think you guys have enough quality to go, not toe to toe, but actually make it into a game. It's not going to be like a battering like we were talking about earlier on either side of the ball. And I've also heard Man United fans coming out and saying, "Oh yeah, we're going to get a 2-1 win." We just feel it, something in the air, something in the tea leaves. They don't give them a reason other than Carrick aura, but
that's my fan base for you, yeah. They say a lot of these things.
I mean that's the same. This is this, and we're talking about my fan base who are coming out here saying we're going to batter you, and we haven't scored more than we haven't scored a goal in the league in 2 games. Like, what the fuck are we talking about?
Yeah, there's definitely no batterings. To bring it back to what you said, I think your midfield. The thing about your midfield, you're better at keeping the ball than us. My thing is like how you guys are going to defend the transition, if you guys are even going to allow us to not have the ball, because I don't know how Arteta is going to approach this game, because I've seen Arteta in Big Six games willingly surrender the ball, knowing his best way to get a result from the game is having setting up his team a little bit better off the ball than on the ball, and I've seen that in multiple games. And he's put the haram midfield that we spoke about earlier in the season a little bit more. I don't know how much he's been using it recently, but I've seen him set up with midfields of Zubamendi, Declan Rice, and Marino, guys that work off the ball more than on the ball, and just completely frustrate the hell out of their opposition. So it's like, I think he's watched that City game, and he's going to be like, there's no way in hell I'm allowing this front line this amount of space because I'm playing at home. I don't think he's going to do that. I think what he's going to do is he's going to try to frustrate us and make us break you guys down. But equally, when you guys do that, I don't think you're the best counter-attacking team in any aspect at all. Which actually brings me back to what I was trying to tell you earlier. I had a take earlier where I said our front line is, I think our front line is better than yours, man for man. And obviously that triggered a lot of Arsenal fans in the terrace chat. And I was like, all right, let me go name for name.
But
I was like, so let me go name for name.
Go name for name.
Is Bruno a better 10 than Odegaard? We can easily say yes.
Yes.
I think Ahmad is better than Saka, but I understand if people think Saka's better than Ahmad. So it's okay. We can ignore that one. That one is more of an argument. That's fine. But I think Ahmad is better. Especially over the last year. I think Ahmad's numbers have proven that he's been better over the last year. But you go to the 9, and that's where you get your biggest loss. I don't think Gyökeres is I hope you guys play him, because I don't think he's better than your other strikers. I don't think he's better than Jesus. I don't think he's better than Havertz. And I don't think he's better than Marino when Marino gets played in the 9. Whereas, like, if I put Mbeumo in the 9, I think Mbeumo is the better 9. And then you can go on the left and you guys can have that, because I don't think we have a competent left wing. But that's, to me at least, the 10, the 9, and in my argument, the right wing. But Arsenal fans will say Saka. But at least to me, that's 3 out of the 4 positions.
Yeah.
It's enough for me to say we're the better attack.
There's something to be said about, like, form. And I think I've said this on American Waffle, but and correct me if you disagree or just give your opinion on it. I think it's the players around him that are really kind of selling Saka short, especially if you're talking about the form that Martin Odegaard has been offensively. I mean, everybody says, oh yeah, he controls the game. He doesn't. Yeah, but he slows the game down to a point where he slows the game down and never looks to a man to pass forward to. It's always back or side to side. This guy does not play anybody through. I think I've counted on one hand the time he's played people through. I mean, I think
But see why I used to always say he's an 8, TJ. I used to always say he's not a 10.
Yeah, exactly. And the whole fan base will say, we'll try to sell him as a 10, but I don't remember him passing forward more than once against Nottingham Forest. More than once.
You can't be a 10 that doesn't take risks. 10s have to take risks. That's who they are.
Well, that's the whole thing. Then Mikel Arteta doesn't play a 10, period, because he doesn't take risks. And the players that do take risks are either on their way to Marseille or a sitting bench. Like, let's be real about it. He shipped off my guy. Oh fuck. Oh, I'm losing my mind. I haven't slept all day today. Wanyeri. He ships off Wanyeri because he does, in my opinion, I think he plays too far out of the system for him, and he didn't want to listen to him, so we shipped him out, and he wasn't going to give him playing time anyway, and now he's not giving playing time to the other guy that he came in to be a backup to Odegaard, which is
I think Arteta, the way he plays, he doesn't like players who take too many risks. He believes I think he believes in keeping the ball a little bit more.
Yeah, I
that's his, I think that's his philosophy.
He's going to be like, if you go out of the system, it doesn't matter if he's going to be like Pep. It doesn't matter if you're.
But I think that's why some of the players struggles, because like you don't have enough creators on the pitch.
That's my point
Saka's
about
the only one
Saka.
that always. Saka to me is the only one that most times is trying to create the most on the pitch. But then you look at your left. I don't think you have any creators on the left. I think Trossard is more of a goal scorer, someone who plays in the pockets, rather than someone who's a creator. Martinelli is just Martinelli. And then you have Eze, who, is it safe to say he hasn't been a good signing?
I think the jury is out, man. I don't think he's gotten enough time, to be honest with you.
And I'm seeing news coming out that what's his name lashed on him in training for his lack of discipline or whatever. Arteta.
Yeah, Arteta. Well, I've seen that too, but I mean, it's also Arteta trying to. I think he's a creative player. I think he's a dynamic player. He doesn't necessarily fit into the system the way Arteta wants him to, and I think Arteta will look for any excuse. I mean, you saw it with Pierre-Emerick Aubameyang, right? Anytime he falls out of line or it's perceived that he's falling out of line, you're going to hear that there's a discord between him and the manager. I think it's absolutely insane some of the stories that are coming out, especially with, you know, it's easy to forget like 6 months later after we signed the guy that or yeah 4 or 5 months later, whatever it is, like, oh yeah, it's a dream for him to come back to Arsenal. He's going to fit right in on the left. He's going to be a creative outlet on the left, or he's going to be able to fill in for Odegaard. But it sounds like the honeymoon is over, and I just think that's absolutely insane, especially after what he did for did against Spurs, and the amount of chances he creates. Like, a lot of people don't remember this, because there's a lot of recency bias around Eberechi Eze. When he came in for Odegaard, he was creating chances. He was putting balls on net and creating second chances. Like, there were more than a few goals that I think Zubamendi benefited from and Trossard benefited from shots that he generated. So, like, he's out there generating rebounds, putting balls on net. Like, I just don't understand why people are already writing him off. I really don't understand that, but there's a lot of people out there with agendas just trying to sink Arsenal players. One of them I'm not going to hear is Eberechi Eze. I think that has his form been great? No, I can admit that. There were times, like, even against Inter Milan, it looked like he was falling asleep. But to write him off this early when he doesn't get that many minutes, like, let's be real, he's not getting consistent minutes. How am I supposed to, like, go in and get good at a new job, when you're not letting me go do the job? You know what I mean?
I hear you. But can I be honest? I'm kind of not surprised. And I'll tell you why.
Okay.
I didn't think Eze was a good fit for Arsenal. I remember when he got linked with Spurs, and I was like, you know what? I think he's tailor-made for Spurs. They're a transitional team. He's used to being a transitional 10. That fit makes sense. I always thought about him as someone who's going to play down the left for you guys. And I'm not surprised now that he doesn't want to play him in the 10 and he doesn't want to sacrifice his midfield. Because I don't think he thinks the risk for reward is worth putting Eze in the 10. Like, I don't think he likes playing with double pivot. He likes playing with one DM and two 8s. For him to restructure his midfield to fit Eze, he's going to have to play two behind him, and I don't think he wants to do that. I think he wants to keep Rice on the left. He wants to play Zubamendi in the 6 and Aura on the right. If anything, Aura can come play on the right. Eze can come in and play in the right. But as I said, Eze's more of a risk taker. He's not really like Odegaard. He's someone who likes to keep the ball, control the tempo of the game, keep it passing, keep it moving, keep it neat. And I think that's something that Arteta values more. Not to mention they're off the ball. I don't think Eze's a great presser. And I don't think he's great at, like, just getting back in shape and winning his duels or whatever. I was actually very surprised when Arteta signed him. I was like, I'm intrigued. Oh, yeah? Let me see how it goes. Maybe this could be the guy that gets him off the line, over the line. But then I just look at it and I'm like, I'm not sure. I'm not surprised that it ended up this way, you know?
Yeah. No, I'm not surprised either.
Will, let me tell you this, Will.
Here we go.
Shout out Football Carnage. If this was a yell off, a scream off, where we're just gonna sit here and bark at each other and behave like buffoons, then you probably would have been invited. But the reason you're not in this collab is because we're actually trying to talk like adults. So I'm sorry you didn't like it.
If I wanted dead talk and delusional talk about Real Madrid, who are a finished club, I would invite you on, Will. I would.
If we wanted to talk about Xabi Alonso winning trebles, we would have invited you.
Yeah, exactly.
But exactly. Yeah, if you guys didn't know, Will in the summer predicted that Xabi Alonso would get him his first treble. Stupid.
Yeah. You know, we all have dead takes, Will, and that was one of the deadest I've ever seen. But we all know the problem is Mbappe, but we're not going to get into that. Anyway, so no, what were we saying before I was rudely interrupted by?
We were talking about Eze.
Oh,
No, it's
okay.
okay.
Yeah.
It's full. We're
No,
used to
yeah, I
that.
know. That's what I mean by brainless. No. So
Bruh.
on the left is where I was expecting us to play him primarily, especially because of how far Martinelli has fallen off in the last 2 years. Trossard, he has been our best winger on the left, yeah. But Staffy, when you were coming into this season, were you just like, oh yeah, Trossard's going to be our best attacker? I don't think anybody was going to say that, and that is not a high bar. I thought Trossard had a bar set here, and he has actually
Did
exceeded
I
that
say
bar.
that? I don't think I said that.
No, I don't think you said that either. I don't think anybody was saying that. I don't think anybody was
Oh,
saying
okay.
that. That was my point.
You're
Sorry
saying if I
if I
would have
said
said
that
that.
wrong.
Okay, sorry.
Yeah,
I thought
if
you
you
said
would have
I said
said
that. I was like, wait.
if I would have said, hey Staffy, guess who our best attacker is going to be this year? Leandro Trossard, and you would have been like, that's sad because it is. So when I'm thinking, oh yeah, we're going to bring in Eberici Esse, at the point we were bringing him in, I thought we were going to play him primarily on the left because we needed somebody on the left that was of higher quality than Leo Trossard and Martinelli, who has been underperforming for the last 2 years, right? Like that was my whole point. That was where I thought we were going to play him. But after the Odegaard injury, I'm like, okay, it makes sense to play him there. But I do understand what you're saying with how he doesn't necessarily fit into Arteta's system. And if you don't fit into Arteta's system, you are going to sit bench or you are going to play in low, small-sided cup games. To be honest,
But let me ask you something, TJ.
yeah.
Is all this irrelevant though? Because you guys are winning games and you're projected to win the league.
I don't think it's irrelevant at all because you're talking about a team that is this is the first time all season that we have been 100% healthy. Yeah, and now even as we're saying that, people are reporting that Kai Havertz picked up another knock, which it doesn't really.
I heard that.
I don't really care. Other than the microwave minutes that he played in the FA Cup, like I haven't seen him since the last time we played you guys. So it really doesn't make a difference to me. So it does matter to me because we're only one misstep away from Odegaard being out again, or Mikel Merino taking a knock and going out, or Declan or anybody else. But this is the healthiest our squad has been all season, and I think form across the team is extremely important, especially with the fact that we're still in all competitions. I think it is extremely important still. But then again, when it comes to the business end of the season, like we've argued about before, and I conceded, but honestly, performances become less and less relevant as the season goes on. Are you getting the 3 points? Yes. Okay, cool. Move on.
That's why I asked that. Because as dead as your attack can be sometimes, as boring as your football can be sometimes, as lackluster as your number 9 can be at times, or most times, you're winning games. You're scoring goals. You actually have the most goals in the league. So it's like, is it actually relevant? Do you have the most goals or do you have the second most goals? I think you might have the second.
I think it's second. I don't think it's for us.
Yeah, let me check it again. Because I know you guys are on 40 goals.
I think we have the best goal difference.
Yeah, sorry. City are on more goals. So City have 45, you have 40. But you'd be surprised. Who's in third place?
Manchester United? Yeah.
That's what I'm saying, bro. People need to stop disrespecting us.
Well, no, and that's why I'm not going to disrespect you guys at all. I think you guys are going to be up for this, and I'm not writing you guys off. Anybody who's writing you guys off is crazy at this point, especially with how relaxed you guys feel. And they're not taking this as a free hit either. The players are not. There is a very, very real chance that this United team under Michael Carrick gets into Europe. I'm not necessarily saying.
Wait, TJ, I have another one.
Shot there.
I have another one. If we beat you guys, we're only 12 points behind. Would you put us in a title race? I'm just kidding, by the way. Don't clip this. It's a joke.
No, that's a joke. That's a joke, people. Ash says this is the first time all season we dropped 2 games in a row. Let's still be calm. I want to be clear. I'm not panicking. I'm not panicking in the slightest. It's just if we go up against better competition than Nottingham Forest, then and we play like that, we're gonna suffer. So,
So let me ask you, what are you worried about the most? And while you do that, let me turn on the lights. But what are you worried about the most when it comes to United?
Bruno Fernandes, unfortunately. I just think that Bruno comes out and plays 10 is 10 times the footballer that he is against us than he is in any other team. I hate him. He's a rat, and he always seems to get his bones against Arsenal. I think that you also have, Kobe Mano getting reintroduced. Ahmad always looks very, very good against us. Even under Amarim, Ahmad had plenty of chances against us in the first half. Like, it's not like you guys came in like we came into OT and blew you out of the water. We sucked. And you guys were playing under Amarim and looked impressive for swaths.
If it wasn't for that idiot Bayender, that game would have at least been a 0-0.
Exactly. So, like, that's really what scares me a lot. I mean, well, not scares me a lot, but scares me is just the Bruno Fernandes and the fact that he will get, I think it's inevitable that he scores either by some bullshit penalty or we just fall asleep.
He bullied Zubimendi last year in Sociedad.
What'd you say?
He bullied Zubimendi last year.
Doesn't surprise me, but that's Zubimendi under
if anything, he scored a hat trick against him.
Dude, look, I'm not comparing us against. Did he have Declan Rice next to him? No.
No, of course. I'm being a little bit shameless here. I'm just letting you know the facts.
Being shameless. I'm just not.
Yeah, he scored a hat trick last year.
No, here's the problem with that Staffy is that you say that, and then other people are gonna watch this back, and they're gonna be like, oh yeah, well he slandered Zubimendi and he didn't defend him, but Zubimendi really hasn't been that good this year, bro. The Zubimendi slander, it's another thing. Zubimendi and Saka are getting so much dead banter against them when just from people that are GA merchants and they're not actually watching the games. Like, if you're watching the games, you could see that Saka has not been great. He's been solid. It's not like he's out there making a ton of mistakes. Same with Zubimendi. I think Zubimendi has made one mistake that directly cost us a goal, and I think that was back against Tottenham when Raya got chipped. Other than that, I really have a hard time thinking of times where Zubimendi was at fault for us conceding goals. Like, you could have argued that he could have stopped that goal against Inter Milan, but we had rotated 7 guys. Like, it wasn't even our A team. So it's one of those things where I agree with Ash for a change. Ash, I think Zubimendi's been one of our signings of the season. I do not miss Thomas Partey. I do not miss other midfielders that we shipped back to Portugal. I think he's been fantastic this season, to be honest with you. You disagree?
I don't know if I could say he's been signing of the season.
Well, no, I think he's been one of the signings of the season for us. You disagree with that? You can disagree. That's fine.
I mean, when his competition. When his competition is Victor
Gyökeres.
It's 0020 Madueke and Victor Gyökeres.
Hey, big up Nani.
The bar is pretty low. The bar is very low. I'm sorry. You know what? But this is why I actually give Arteta a lot more credit. The guy, none of his signings have been amazing. At least the attacking ones, they haven't been amazing.
Attacking ones have not been amazing.
Yeah. Everyone said all we need is a striker to bang goals and we'll win the league. And he's about to win the league without banging goals. Like, it's just so funny. Like, everyone was wrong. Everyone who said just get a 25 goal a season striker and we'll win the league, they're all wrong. Your striker has, you know what? Did you know that Gyökeres has less GNA than Cunha? And we banter Cunha 24/7. You have Griggs calling him Hakunia Matata and calling him
Matthew
Cunningham. And he has more GNA than Gyökeres. And the way by the way, wallahi, TJ, your fan base is shameless. Your fan base is so embarrassing.
No, tell him why.
No, bro, the Inter game, I said this on the terrace earlier, and I'll say it here. Jesus takes his starting spot, scores a brace, wins man of the match, and everyone is talking about Gyökeres after the game because he scored 1 goal. Didn't you find that weird, bro? It is like a weird upset. You know what it is?
They don't want to be wrong, Staffy. That's the thing. They don't want to be wrong because they were so shameless at the beginning of the season.
No, but you know why, TJ? It's because I feel like you guys have been divided for so long. The only thing that finally got you guys and brought you together recently was finally a striker that you all agreed in the beginning of the season he was a good signing. That was the one thing that I found every Arteta inner and Arteta outer agreeing on. I think now people are struggling. Like, look at Troops. I see his clips all over Twitter. Troops is struggling. Anymore, man. He's struggling to accept that Gyökeres is not that good. I promise you, bro. If Gyökeres played for any other club, everyone would be bantering him 100%. You guys would be making fun of him. It's only a few Arsenal fans like yourself that recently you were like, you know what, bro? Let's just admit it. He's not as good as we thought he would be. He's not performing to the level we thought he would be. Let's just hold our hands and admit it and move on. The rest, they're just treating, you know, the Connor Cure award that they give at the Hall of Fame every year for like the disabled kids or whatever. The Connor Cure at WWE. Yeah. This is how you guys are actually
the Connor. I think they actually call it the Connor Award or something like that.
The Connor Cure Award. Yeah, I remember that. Award. Remember the kid that unfortunately died from I think he had like brain cancer or something.
Yeah, I think he had.
And they just give it to like, but it's just generally like a feel good award that they give it to like kids and whatever. This is how you guys are treating what's his name. I had Igao at me in the group chat saying the other day, what a goal. I was like, bro, what was so good about that goal? You know, the funniest thing about it is he only scored that goal because his pass was so bad. It bounced off Saka's foot and came back to him. That's how bad that pass was. And then he had that shot, the defender who didn't want to, I don't know why the defender was just ball watching. He thought the other defender was going to tackle him. And then I don't know what Jan Sommer was doing because he got a hand on it and he still didn't get it out. Everything about the goal was a little bit comedic anyways. And then when you think about it, he had a comedic brace against Atleti, where like I feel like one ball like hit his crotch or something.
Yeah, it went off his nuts, and one went off his like hip, like
his goals just happened.
Well, no, and people were bigging that up, by the way. So, he's here, Kai Havertz could never.
Dude, bro, I saw. You know what's his name? Hooks. Hooks was like the beginning, and I'm like, bro, it's February. What do you mean the beginning? The season's almost over. The fuck you mean the beginning? How can you begin and it's 7 days away from February? I don't think it was that nice, Ash. But maybe it's my hate agenda.
It's all these people. No, I mean, here's the thing: is I didn't want to admit it because I was in that same boat with those guys, and they call it the Gyökeres Defense League, the GDL.
Stupid.
Like it's absolutely insane. And if you weren't watching the United game. And even the Leeds game where he scored 2 goals against NPCs, he had one good finish, but he was also going against guys that had just spent the years in the championship.
His only good goal was against Leeds, by the way.
Yeah, that's I know. I'm like, this is the level that we're talking about here. And look, I understand. Oh, well, yeah, he's a transitional player. He'll hit him on the transition. You put it on his foot, he's going to score. I'm like, bro, that's not how we play football. So what the fuck are we even talking about here?
I've seen him struggle on transitions as well, TJ. Dude, I'm sorry.
What I'm telling you is I do not think he is a good footballer at all. I've said this on this channel, on Sarcasm City TV, on fucking American Waffle. Anybody that will have me, freaking the catch up, anybody that will have me to say, hey, look, this guy, say what you want, go ahead and defend because you don't want to admit that you're wrong. Go ahead and say, okay, yeah, but he's the best striker. Look at all the goals he scored, blah, blah, blah. In the Premier League, he doesn't belong. I'm going to be really honest with you. He looks terrible on the ball. He can't dribble. The only time I've ever seen him make a 5-yard pass was in the soup over to Zubamendi, and Zubamendi cooked Fofana against Chelsea. I've never seen this guy perform like that in the league. Period. End of story. Like I want to be wrong. By the way, I want to be wrong about this. I do not like disparaging Arsenal players, but if I've said this before, I'll say it again. If Kai Havertz was playing like this fucking fan base would put him on a spit.
Absolutely. Absolutely. I'm glad you said it. Can you put Ash's last comment? Not the one he just put, the one before it. No, the one before it. He said he has more goals than Haaland this year, though. So he means he could have just said in 2026. When you say a year, it exaggerates it. Now, let me tell you something. You know who has more goals than both of them this year? Patrick Dorgo. And you know who else has more goals that you won't admit that he's better? Benjamin Sesko. So these are all players that actually scored more goals than him this January. I know you're joking, obviously, but this is the comparison. You get what I'm saying?
No, people. No, here's the problem though: is people will take that seriously. People will.
No, but let me tell you something. I did a show yesterday with Ash, you know, Ashraf. And on Mo's channel, and he did a per 90 underlying metric comparison between Gyökeres and every other striker. So these are some of the strikers that he compared him to, and all of them came up top. So first of all, he compared him to Havertz of last season, which you guys deem not good enough. Havertz beat him in everything. So Havertz last season is better than Gyökeres this season. And this is the guy that came in to be better than Havertz. Right away, that tells you the signing failed. We compared him to Darwin Núñez last season. Darwin Núñez, other than his conversion rate, which we all know that's what got him out of Liverpool, his conversion rate was shit.
Facts.
His underlying metrics were a lot better. We compared him this season to Mateta, Ekitike, Sesko. We even compared him to Barry in Everton. All of them had better underlying metrics to show that when they don't bang goals, they at least offer something on the pitch. The issue with Gyökeres, he's 27. He's struggling to bang goals. This is supposed to be his prime. This is his prime. You're 27. In your prime, you went to a top 5 league and you're clearly struggling, and people just sit there and they fail to admit it. I'm going to give credit to Arteta more than anything because everyone, as I said earlier, said, get a striker who scores 25 goals plus a season and will win the league. He's gotten a striker that scored 5 goals in like 22 games, and he's still about to win the league. So I'm going to give credit to Arteta, if anything, because people were saying, and this is the cope that annoys me, oh, but we're winning, who cares? Sure, you're winning in spite of him, not because of him. That's it. Yeah. Let me close my window.
No, that's fine. No, I completely agree with you. This is mind-blowing. Says Arsenal don't have a single player in the top 15 goal scorer, and we're still on top. That's amazing. Yeah, I mean, we do spread the goals around, especially when our front three and our target man striker that we brought in to bang goals in left and right isn't performing. And Staffy, I wanted to bring this by you a little bit too. Is it not? Do you think the players rate Gyökeres? I like asking this question. Do you think the players around Arsenal? Yeah, they'll go over there, they'll give him a high five, they'll hug. United fans love talking about hugging.
I think Saka clocked that he's shit.
I think so too. No. I'm dead serious. I think the whole team thinks he sucks. I'm gonna be real. I'm gonna be so real. People don't like talking about it. People like hearing about, family, Arsenal, we're a family, go play the Arsenal way. Bro, they do not play. The reason they don't give him service, a lot of people are talking about, well, he doesn't get any service. They don't pass him the ball because they know he's going to turn it over.
We reached a point last season where we deliberately weren't passing the ball to Højlund. I remember watching a few games where players weren't passing the Højlund enough. And sometimes I used to feel for Højlund because I feel like if you got the ball there, you might score it. Because he wasn't a bad finisher. He wasn't that good all around. But speaking about Højlund, he's still better than Gyökeres. Because even him last season, we compared his numbers to Gyökeres this season, and his metrics were better. It reaches a point where like players know when someone is good or not, and I feel like they just know like he's just not a good footballer in general. His touch is clunky. His runs are not good. He just he looks for one way to score goals and that's it, which is like run and just try to smash the ball. But like he's struggling to do that in the Premier League because like the Premier League's physicality level is much higher than every other league. And he can't find himself to. One thing about him is he was physically more superior to so many defenders in Liga NOS. And he's struggling to find that in the Premier League because he's seeing that some of these defenders are either on his level or better. And he can't no longer do his thing where he's like, I'm going to be physically stronger than them. And he just doesn't have what it takes, bro. Like, there's a reason why sometimes you need to stress the scouts. And I feel like we don't do that enough. We should have known the minute that this guy wasn't good enough to play for Brighton like 5 years ago. And they had to ship him on a couple loans to the Championship. And then he went to Liga NOS. That's when we should have clocked that he wasn't that good. Because I'll admit it, bro. I wanted him at United at some point. I thought the way that we play football would have suited him. Remember, I had this whole debate with you guys where I'm like, I think Sesko fits you guys more and Gyökeres fits us. I was wrong. Gyökeres doesn't fit anyone. I thought he would fit us, but he actually doesn't fit anyone. And I'm happy we dodged that bullet.
He
100%.
Just doesn't fit into the Premier League. Let's just be real about it. He doesn't get enough space. He's not going to get enough time. He's not going to have service 24/7. I'm serious, man. I seriously think that this Arsenal team, the players around him do not rate him as a footballer, and they don't want to turn the ball over. And I'm going to
And his movement is not that good, TJ. Like
no, he runs into when he's running in behind. It looks like he's intentionally backing into defenders. And I'm like, bro, you are not that guy. You're not that guy. Sorry, go ahead. I interrupted you.
No. I love that question that Ash just asked. I was saying, like, the thing about him is, like, he just isn't an intelligent player. He doesn't know when he's nullified out of the game, how else do I get involved? You know, his tech lets him down, and his IQ, he just doesn't have that. Like, there's so many defenders, bro. So many attackers. When they don't get that space, when they can't pick up the ball and create something for themselves, they'll find another way to be effective. Some of the best players in the history of the game were just intelligent in the box. Players like, I'll tell you what, like people like Javier Hernandez, people like Filippo Inzaghi, these guys were like so physically inferior compared to everyone else, but they would be so effective for their teams because they know how to be a pest in the box. They know how to move. They know how to they can anticipate where the ball is going to go. They actually would score a lot of rebounds rather than anything. And they were physically just shit everywhere else. I don't think he even has that. And this is why, like, when people say that, and I like this question from Ash, he's saying if he plays as a sub when players are on a less physical level and he's full fitness, do you think he'll be better? Probably yes. But the issue is you didn't sign him to be a sub. It's going to be looked at as a failed signing because you spent what, 60 million for him to come off the sub.
Yeah,
but sometimes that's what you need. By the way, look at Cunha. Cunha came off the bench last game and got an assist. And to Griggs' own words, bullying works. Sometimes you need to bully a player, aka discipline them. We don't actually mean bully a player, but like discipline a player until they actually like are, you know what, start making the right decisions, start improving at training, whatever it is. And maybe that's what you need. And I do think you have enough attackers where you don't have to suffer with 90 minutes of Gyökeres ball every day. You don't have to do that to yourself.
No, exactly. I mean, and look, like we all know how Arteta plays. He wants to play possession. He wants a 9 that's going to be able to link up play. I've seen Gyökeres complete like 2 or 3 passes in that position ever, and then he without getting completely overwhelmed or losing the ball or putting the ball into row Z. I honestly think, man, like I don't even believe if we bring him on as a sub, he's going to be good enough, to be honest with you. And look, I want to put this out here for Arsenal fans, and then I got to get going because I got to go back to work. As we're going to get predictions, and I got to get out of here. Thank you again, Staffy, for coming on, bro. Really, really appreciate it.
Smash the likes, people.
Yeah, smash the likes. Sub to the channel. I think that the winds are papering over the cracks with this fan base in the sky. Staffy, if we were in third place with this guy performing like this, we would be having completely different conversations. And I don't think that's being talked about enough. I'm going to be very fucking real with you. I think that if we were not in a league where the parity is so different than where it's been before underneath the top 3, we would be having completely different conversations about this guy. So anyway, yeah.
Results cover for everything, bro, unfortunately.
Yeah.
And that's why we never do results-based analysis. By that logic, every team in a Premier League winning team, every player, in a Premier League winning team is a good, and every player that didn't win the Premier League, by that argument, is shit. And that's not the case, is it?
Yep.
Cunha is the best of a bad bunch. Gyökeres is the worst of a best bunch. No, that's not what I meant. I meant like because Cunha, first of all, Cunha is not the best out of a bad bunch. He's actually not playing. I can name you at least 5 players this season who've been better than Cunha. Bruno's been better than him. Boma's been better than him. Ahmed has been better than him. And you can argue, I don't know, Casemiro has been better than him. I don't know. But that's at least 4 players I just named?
Yeah.
He hasn't been that good. But I was just using him as an example of someone who got benched and came on and actually looked good. Because we always said he doesn't pass, doesn't pass. Comes on last game, crosses, we score. There you go. That's the pass we were looking for. He just doesn't pass, bro. He came on and he passed the ball.
Yeah, no, exactly. And Ash is saying you can say the same about Eze as well, TJ. No, but Eze is getting more shit than Gyökeres, and Gyökeres has been shit.
Can I say why Eze catches a little bit of a break? We actually seen Eze perform in the Premier League. So that's why people are going to sit there and have more questions about, okay, is it the system? Is it the manager? Is it the club? What is it? Whereas like Gyökeres has no proof of doing it at this level. Just doesn't.
Yeah, but Staffy, my point is that I'm hearing more criticism of Eze than I am of Gyökeres from the fan base.
Yeah, because he gets babysat.
Which I just think is absolutely insane to me. I'm like, what are we, fucking kids? Like, why? We don't need to treat this guy with kid gloves. He's a fucking adult. He should be playing better. He should be playing better in the league. And honestly, like, if you are still defending this guy, we are not watching the same sport. I'm going to be very honest with you. I'm going to be extremely honest with you. But big up, Ash, for being here. I can't wait for you to be wasting me in the American Waffle chat on Monday. Staffy, prediction, my guy. No, we'll get out of here.
Stinky 0-0. It's going to be a stinky 0-0. Arteta is going to leave us the ball. He's going to have us try to break you guys down. We're not going to be able to break you guys down because you're good off the ball and good defensively. Then you guys are going to have your time of dominating the ball a little bit. Hopefully you don't score with a set piece. Hopefully we defend set piece as well. But I think it's going to be a stinky 0-0 draw. We're both going to hate the game. And we're going to be like,
thank you, come again.
That's it.
Stinky 0-0. Okay. I'm going 2-1 Arsenal. We'll score maybe one shit house open play goal. We'll get your patented, almost guaranteed free kick goal from Bruno or a PK goal. Then we'll get a set piece and maybe one open play goal. That's it. 2-1 Arsenal. I think we'll win.
Who would you start in the 9 this game?
Jesus.
You think he would start back-to-back games in such a short time?
I think he would. Yeah. I mean, just look at the way that he's playing. I mean, and these guys read him better. They trust him with the ball. I mean, he's willing to cut in and actually go out and get balls. And and I'm going to be honest with you, he's clinical.
He's going to get what?
Actual footballer. Pause. He's actually so wild. Yeah. No, I think they start Jesus, to be honest with you. No, the smart thing would be to start Jesus, which is why I think he's going to start Gyökeres.
African Cat makes a good comment there. He said, Sesko and Glock scoring this one for the YouTube debate. Imagine it ends 1-1, Gyökeres and Sesko goals.
Can I be honest with you? It'll be time for me to retire this page, or this channel. It'll be fine. You'll just see me on American Waffle. It's fine. It really wouldn't bother me that much because the banter around that is going to be so dead, and I'm just not going to have time for it. I'm going to be so.
Sesko will play a part against you guys, by the way, because don't forget he's actually scored in 2 games in a row, and then we didn't play him last game because stylistically the game didn't fit him, which I'm glad that we didn't, because I felt like the game was too open, and I'd rather someone like Mbeumo play in it. But he actually's coming off 3 goals in his last 2 games. So he's technically scored in his last 2 games. The City one didn't count because he didn't even play. But he will play against you guys because at some point the game is going to be tight and we need a goal, and we're gonna bring on a big lump to try to like play the ball to.
Hey man, we'll see. I don't know. I'm thinking of my entire starting 11 in that front 3. That front 3 is going to be ridiculous. And if we're not generating, if I see Mikel Merino come in as a right-sided 8 for the Norwegian captain who's supposed to be creating for us, I'm going to probably lose it. 3 CDMs against Nottingham Forest. Unforgivable. Anyway, shout out your channel, Staffy. Let's get the hell out of here, bro. Thank you so much for coming on and previewing it with me. I know we had to kind of keep it short because I got to go back to work, but appreciate it, brother.
No, of course, bro. Big up for having me. It's been a while since we had one of these previews or whatever, because we're usually doing American Waffle and it's like the bunch of us, and you know who's always yelling, who's always loud, who's always obnoxious. I know these are all words to describe Ahmed.
Oh, brother, this guy stinks.
Yeah.
But yeah, it's good to have a one-on-one.
Wait a minute. You mean this guy?
Don't forget chat. Maresca out, man. There we go.
Well, there you go. You guys wait, Maresca out. You guys Maresca out. But yeah, him and
get there.
Him and Marshall are building snow. Oh my god, look at this embarrassing guy.
Dude. It's absolutely insane.
Yeah, he's building snowmans with Marshall right now. But yeah, check out my channel. Obviously, you guys already know Staffy TV. We'll be back on Monday. I'm actually doing a watch along this Sunday. I'm finally bringing back watch alongs. Nice. So if you didn't know, now you know. We'll be live on Sunday for the watch along, and obviously Monday, you know where to find us. American Waffle, 7 p.m. Eastern time. Every Monday, Thursday night.
Absolutely. All right, guys, and you can catch me live in a few hours. We're going to be live for American Idiots. It's Goonie's birthday, so we're going to be talking more United with Flawless, and Connor will be on, and I will hopefully not be asleep because I've been awake for the last 12 hours already. So that will be, what is that, 4 p.m. Eastern time. So come over there and join us for American Idiots.
Why would anyone tune in to watch Connor though?
That's a good question. I have no idea. But he asked if he could be on the show, and I just was like, you know what? No, I'm not gonna deny him. You know what I mean? Kid does all right. Kid does all right. But anyway, all right, guys. We will see you over there in a few hours. Big up everybody for joining. We will see you in a bit. Peace.